best Black Friday deals that excite me. Deals that I would sell my abuelita, and they're really good. Now, deals that don't excite me are going to include companies like Waves that has a sale every 365 days of the year. It's like that one friend you always have that wants to party. Every day is a holiday. Soundtoys. This deal happens every single year, but it's still one of the best deals that excites me. What I recommend you guys do is that you actually buy individual plugins, and I'm going to show you guys which ones I recommend to you because these are the most used. First off, Decapitator is $150 off. This is one of the best saturating plugins that you can utilize in your productions. Simple to use, looks fire, always firme. As long as you don't overdo it, it will do you no wrong. From there, we have a plugin that costs $200 down to $50 called Echo Boy. I reach for it more than Timeless 2 and the Ableton Echo. From there, I can't really recommend the other plugins because they're cool for one-off things, but the sale isn't that great. For instance, Alter Boy is down to $39, $40. And finally, the last plugin I most recommend from this sale that I almost forgot is Crystallizer. It's like a ponytail sort of delay, you know, the hipster vibe. They think they're better than you because instead of using Echo Boy, they use Crystallizer. Angular delay. I'm smarter than you. The Fabfilter sale. Fabfilter is a company that I recommend their plugins, but from what I've known, they rarely have a sale. The sale percentage isn't as big as Soundtoys. They know their worth. They know people use their stuff. They don't need to give a sale. For some reason, some of you guys got to them. In fact, I can't even access their damn website. I'm pretty sure everyone's trying to acquire this sale. A lot of their plugins are 25% off. Now, I know there's nothing whoa to brag about these, but they do have some good stuff that I recommend you pick up because the sales don't get better. If you're trying to get louder than my wife, I recommend the Fabfilter Pro L2, Fabfilter Saturn 2. If you're looking for a saturator that's more complex than Decapitator, then this is it. Now, with great power comes great responsibility. The fact that it's more complex doesn't mean anything if you don't know how to utilize it and how to be firm with it. Pro Q3, best precise surgical EQs out on the market. Nativo Instrumentos sale. If you don't get their libraries during this time of the year, you're missing out. For example, I have a lot of tech house followers. They're always asking me, how do you get that sound that these producers have? Contact. For instance, Spotlight Collection Cuba has a lot of the Congo Bongo ones and it's half off. So instead of spending $100, now you have $50 and then you can use the other $50 for another library. For example, Spotlight Collection West Africa has a lot more tribal drums that you can utilize. I heavily recommend their libraries that are pay to use, libraries that offer guitars, trumpets, strings that you can't really synthesize with the fancy synths you have. The Wavesfactory TrackSpacer. Another great sale that's happening right now for a great plugin that I cannot recommend enough. For $30, you're pretty much buying a sidechain plugin to the next level. AKA you have a vocal and you want to make the synth move out the way from the vocal, but now you don't want it to do the whole volume thing. You want it to be based on frequency. That's pretty much TrackSpacer. The Izotope Sale. Izotope always has a great sale this time of the year, and I respect them for that. 50% off on these plugins that are very expensive is always, thank God. Now, if you're a producer looking for good mixing and mastering plugins where you can cheat a bit, aka have the plugin tell you how to mix something and it sounds half decent, this is it. For example, Neutron 4, half off. Ozone 10, which is fairly new, by the way, is also half off. Neoverb, which is their new reverb, which is supposed to be AI and suggest reverb that fits your track, is also going to be 74% off. Transgressor 2 by Bose Digital Labs. Now, this plugin is not common as the other ones. So if you're the type of producer that cares about what top producers are using, the only one I know of that uses Transgressor 2 at the moment is Malp. You use this on the kick from Drugs from Amsterdam. Grabs the body of your kick and the transient and separates them so that you can EQ the transient differently and the body of the kick differently. Now, this plugin usually costs $150, but it's available for $30, which is a great deal. The Black Octopus Leviathan sample pack. Now, I don't recommend many sample packs, and the reason for that is I'm a professional sound designer and I'm very picky. Two, when I buy a sample pack, I'm usually disappointed. Demos be sounding good, man. However, when my mentor and Julian Gray recommended the Leviathan series, I checked it out and I was very impressed by their work. And for 60% off, usually these packs are $100. You can get it for $40, and they're very big packs. This is the only series I can recommend from Black Octopus at the moment, as I've used some of the other ones and I'm not too keen of them. So if you're looking for some sample packs to check out, these are some of the ones I would recommend to you guys, as well as my own. Again, I'm having a sale on Deceiver and Paradox. The next Black Friday sale I recommend is the Output Effects sale. Now, I have Output Exhale, which I don't recommend, but I do recommend Portal. I use it a lot. And again, if you want something experimental, this is it. As well as Thermal is also another great one to utilize. I've utilized some of their other libraries and effects, and I'm not too fond of them. Kilohearts Faceplant. This one I can recommend if you're looking for a synth where you really are into sound design. Like you're really gonna be there for like 10 to 30 minutes making a sound. Now usually Phaseplant is $200, but now you can get it for $99, which is half off. Now Kilohearts is having a Black Friday sale on their whole website. They did send me a lot of their effects a while back to check out, and I never made a video on them because they just didn't excite me. I'm the type of guy that needs fancy graphics and stuff. Phaseplant came out, it all came together, and I enjoy their effects a lot more now when I use them with Phaseplant. But as standalone effects, I'm not too fond of them. C20 retro color. For $50, this plugin is awesome, and you've definitely seen it in a lot of the hip hop making of videos. I personally use this plugin a lot to process my leads and to add a bit of that vinyl noise. Yeah, that sound. The Arturia V collection is one I recommend to you guys every year. Pretty much a bunch of hardware synthesizer emulations for half off, but they're really good, and there's a bunch of presets if you're into that. Now in this bundle, there's a lot of cool synths, and I think the value of it comes from also the presets if you're the type of guy that just likes to go through them. Analog Lab provides pretty much an all access point for them. Let's go into Analog Lab and go through them all. The synths that I utilize heavily in this collection is the Prophet, Juno 6, the Mini V, the Jupiter 8, and the Piano V collection. If you're looking for a trance-based synthesizer, then make sure to check out Revealed Sound Spire. This is a great synth that I still revisit now and then, especially because I have a lot of Soundbanks for it. So when I don't know what I want, I go through the presets. They're going to be offering this instead of $189, $99. I think it's a great price for a great synth. Has a lot of trance guys using it, but also Brooks utilizes it, and I'm sure there's other producers out there that go through it to find sounds for their productions. The effects on it, though, make it sound very trance, so just know it sounds very trance. The last still I recommend to you guys is going to be this one, the Sonox Oxford INFLATOR. This thing has a lot of hype around it because it can make your track just sound a lot more louder and a lot more exciting. And it's usually $155, but now you can get it for $40, which is a great deal. I have yet to get this one, and this Black Friday I am getting it. So that's why I'm going to be recommending it to you guys. Have heard nothing but great things about it. All right, guys. Now I know there's a lot more Black Friday sales out there, but these are the ones I can recommend because one, I've heard really good things about, but also because I've utilized them, and I want to recommend stuff to you guys that I know sounds good, works good, and that you're going to have a great time utilizing. Now, as I stated, I will also have a sale over at evosounds.com, 35% off all my Soundbanks and sample packs, except Deceiver Volume 5 out of respect for the people that supported it recently. My sample pack and Soundbanks are utilized by some of the top producers out there like Hardwell, Topic, Joe Corey, James Hype, West End, Umic, Space 92. The list goes on. But again, I hope you guys enjoy them if you do support them, as that's the most important thing. Other than that, you guys have a great rest of your day and much love.